111. Microphone is working. Let's see. Do we got anyone in here? Da, 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 da. Two. Oh, hell. Okay, that was nothing. Right. Four people in here. All right. Bob Sweet, how are you? Ulysses, how is everyone? We got 25 people in here already. We're cooking now. See if we can get up to 100 today. It's really strange for as big as my channel is. When I do a live stream, which in a way I kind of like it, we rarely get over like 200 viewers at a time. There's channels that are smaller than mine that are maybe talking about cruises. I don't know. I see them, they've got like 800 people in their live stream. That's a little too much for me to handle because I like to answer as many questions as I can. But it just kind of baffles me. We never seem to get past 200. I think during the pandemic, we had a couple where I had like 500, but that was it. On a regular basis, it's only about 200. Moved from chat juices to Maine 10 years ago. Sticking in New England, just keeping there, huh? How is everyone? Grove, Oklahoma. Let's check that out. I don't think I know Grove, Oklahoma. Grove City in Oklahoma. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, yeah, you're right there on the lake. Or river, I'm sorry. It looks like a lake. Oh, yeah, you're not too far from the Arkansas border. So, yeah, you're cashing in on some of that beautiful landscape that they have around the northwest side of my door. I got some person at my door. Hold on. Let me take care of a person that can't read a no soliciting sign. Hey, what can I help you with? Hello? How can I help you? Oh, sorry, about to fall over. Guy's on a freaking scooter going door to door. I got a no soliciting sign out there. Apparently, he can't read or something. But yeah, Grove, Oklahoma looks pretty cool. Greetings from rural South Jersey. Yes. You know, it's so funny. People that don't understand New Jersey always think it's just, the cities, Trenton or whatever, Atlantic City. They don't realize that more than half of that state is just rural. And I got to get a new chair. Hear all that's cracking around there? But when I was younger, the first time I went to New Jersey, I was kind of pleasantly surprised because that's how I thought too. I thought it was just this big urban sprawl thing like Manhattan and New York. But no, it's actually very beautiful. New Orleans. Noxious volunteer fans. Yeah. Well, thank you very good. Thank you very good. Complimenting my content and my voice, and I can't even speak English properly. And thick accent. I have a thick accent. Moved to Oregon from North to Chicago. Moved from Oregon to North Carolina to Chicago and looking to move again. What are you looking for, Joe? Oh, let me see what your message. I think I saw something. I started reading something and I got a guy at the door. Does anyone know the cost of living or quality of life in Knoxville? Yes, I will look it up for you. So I get the most accurate numbers. Knoxville. So their cost of living, they are A plus. So they give them a grade, but here's the numbers. So if you're looking at overall, it's 8% lower than the national average, and the groceries it's 5% lower than national average, and housing is 18% lower than the national average. So overall, it's really not a bad place to live. The problem is they got a little bit of crime, nothing major. Now I'm going to give you the numbers here, but keep in mind, really dangerous places like Memphis and Southside Chicago, they have crime rates that are like 400% above the national average. So their total crime rate in Knoxville is only 63% above the national average. That's not terrible. Their violent crime is 106%. That's not great. But their property crime is only 55, so that's how their total crime gets down there to 63%. You might hear me making weird noises too because it's that sinus season. I'm struggling. Okay. So we got that one out of the way. Quality of life. So the quality of life, though, I didn't give you that score, is 74. That's the livability score. Um, the thing with livability, in my opinion, anything above 70 is decent. When you get into the 80s, it is excellent. So this is, my opinion, above average. All right, let's go on to the next one. Who else has got one? Just moved there from San Antonio. How you liking it, Sandra? 15 years, monthly income about 8,000, but I love to camp on the water. I love boating, fishing, state, consider camps, water 500,000. So we were just talking about Grove in Oklahoma. Well, not too far from there, you have the northwest portion of Arkansas. That area of Arkansas is so much better than the rest of Arkansas, and it's got a lot of what you're looking for. The prices are reasonable. Let's take a look and see what it is. Let's just look at, you want to live on the ocean in Arkansas. That's hard to pull off, but you want to live on the water. So let's take a look at some little towns out there. Hell, let's go to a big one. Rogers. Rogers could give you an idea of what's happened there. Rogers, Arkansas. So Rogers is excellent. So, like I just said, the livability score, when they get over 70, it's decent. When it's above 80, it is really good. Their livability score in Rogers is 90. So, this is why cost of living is below average, 4% below. Groceries are 6% below. The only difference is, it's in my way, housing is 3% above the national average, which isn't terrible. Crime, decent. It's 24% below the national average. Their employment is good, commute's good, housing's good, health and safety, and their schools is good. Is good. Geez, I talk about schools, can't even speak today. So overall, the Rogers area of Northwest Arkansas are a good choice. Also, any place in southern Missouri, it's probably what you're looking for too. It's all in the same area. Okay. Okay, I might miss some of these guys because we're moving pretty quick here. And how many people I got in the? Got 74 people here. Tired Alaska winters, but I love its beauty. It's hard to beat its beauty, that's for sure. I was thinking about moving to northern Georgia in the next few years. Okay, so northern Georgia's good. Uh, sometimes when you're living in Alaska or like let's say Colorado, you get used to having those mountains there. Then you move to a flat state and it doesn't feel right. When I was living with the army in Kansas, it drove me crazy because I couldn't see the mountains and the ocean was nowhere near me, and it bugged me every day because you get used to knowing what I grew up on a beach town. I knew the ocean was this direction and the mountains were that direction, and you get kind of used to that. Move to Georgia, they don't really have any mountains. Try North Carolina though, or Tennessee. Pretty much the same stats, unless you're looking for something in Atlanta. So they don't have giant cities like Atlanta, but Tennessee and North Carolina might be a great option too. Ocean Springs, Biloxi, growing up. It's okay. I'm tracking. Rogers, Arkansas. I shall check that out. Definitely check it out. It might be worth it. There's a couple other towns in the Rogers area, like Bentonville and Fayetteville. They're really nice places. Take a look at that area. And you got what? You got Lake of the Ozarks not too far away from there. I think that's in Missouri. But then you have this other giant lake, and I forgot what it's called, just outside of town. It's kind of like a river lake type thing. Sorry, guys, my nose is driving me crazy. I think I'm gonna sneeze. All right, the allergy medicine ain't cutting it. Okay, Gilbert, Arizona. Here, yes, it's hot. That's about it. Helena, Georgia. Okay, I think over the next 15 years, Central Valley, California will be the best place to live in the West. It's one of the only spots where the West hasn't been urbanized yet. True. I think I think the problem there is one, it will start growing because it is a little more affordable than the coastal areas of California, and it's not Death Valley, but it is pretty hot. And that'll keep a lot of people away. Some people just can't handle that heat. I mean, if you're talking Fresno to Bakersfield, that area starts cooking during the summer. So I don't know. In multiple states, wanting. Hold on one second. Okay, I got a couple. I can't wait to get out. Okay, I'm gonna catch up on some of these. Nobody give me any more suggestions till I do. North Carolina, it can be a little crowded. I think 5-10 years, Central Valley. Yeah, got that one. Illinois, Georgia. I think I already know the answer, but I moved to Medford next week. What do you think of it? Medford's pretty cool. It's not as weird and it's not as packed as Portland. It's definitely got a little more of a hippie rural vibe to it, even though it's a city. And they have some of the best pizza in the world there. I swear to God, there's 2 pizza places that I've eaten there, and I can't think of their names offhand. But once you get there, ask people and they'll tell you. But yeah, Medford is a pretty good place to live. Unless you're talking about someplace else instead of Medford, Oregon. Planning to move to Willamette Valley. Julie, can you recommend a city close to city, or are you too close to judge fairly? No, I'll give you an absolute honest answer. So there's a couple places in the Willamette Valley that are really good. Now, depending on your price range, if you've got a good amount of money, I would look at some place like God, can't even think right now. Give me my map. I'm getting brain cramp here. I'm doing a video on it. I talked to their city council guy. Can't even think. It's gonna bug me as soon as I see it. Why can't I think of it? I was just West Lynn. West Lynn. Oh my God. Why can't I think of that? So West Lynn is one of the best options right now. It's a little more expensive, but West Lynn, in my opinion, is the best option to move to if you're going to move to the Willamette Valley or the Portland metro area. Portland metro area. It's on the outside of it. After that, look at Wilsonville. If you're looking for something a little bit smaller, you've got a couple different places. Newburgh's kind of got that small town feel, even though it's got some people living there. It's getting bigger. Uh, you want to go a little further out, you got McMinnville. McMinnville's decent. I like McMinnville. They've got a couple cool things there. If you're really looking for small towns, you could start with Dundee, Lafayette, or Carlton. Carlton's big on wine. People go there on the weekends and, wine tasting type thing. So there's a couple really good options. If you want to start getting down towards a little bit further outside the Portland metro area, look at Woodburn. Woodburn is decent. They got a nice racetrack there, and they also have a outlet mall, so that's good. All right, let's back to questions. Okay, let me catch up here, guys. Minnesota. Minnesota's great. Oh, the White Sox are doing great this year. I don't know what happened. Last year, they were like the second or third worst team in the league, and now they're just killing it. They're not the best team in the league right now, but what are they? Their records like got them in the top five, I think. Not bad. Okay, let me checking in from Julia. Watch religiously. I watch. I normally get the package towards the middle of the season because that's when things start heating up. So then I'll start watching almost every single game. Right now, I just watch the what do they call it, game day thing on MLB. So that's how I watch games now. Right after the All Star game, they drop the price on the package, and then I just get it. Then it just I seem like I'm wasting. I feel like I've wasted money in the past because I'll watch only a handful of games on the first half of the season. Okay, currently in Johnson City, Tennessee, not a bad place to live, and trying to decide between southern coastal Maine or Fort Collins, Colorado for retirement. What are my thoughts? Okay, so they're both great options. I like Maine, especially for retirement. Here's the thing, though, you got to be ready for that winter. Fort Collins, they get a little cold too, and they get some snow. But Maine, it's a different breed of animal some years. That yeah, it's like Minnesota snow type thing. It's crazy. Oh, I'm so sorry about my sinuses, guys. I know I sound horrible. Okay, Gold Beach. Then there we go again. You can y'all in a chat hear me? Yes, we can hear you. I mean, we can read you. Any towns in Northern California you'd recommend? Yeah, there are a couple. Um, Not that I've lived too far up Northern California. The farthest I've ever lived is Monterey. Lived there for 4 years, which is south of San Jose and San Francisco. But if you want to move to rural places up there, there's a couple really cool towns like Fortuna. Fortuna's nice. Ferndale's nice. Stay out of Eureka. Eureka's it's a shithole. Plain and simple. But Shasta, if you like the outdoor type thing, Klamath is decent. I have a friend that lives in Crescent City because he is a prison guard. Um, but yeah, there's a nice prison up there. I think he's still working there. It's been a couple of years since I talked to him. And of course, there's a place called Fort Dick. But yeah, Northern California, they've got some decent places. If you want to jump over the border into Oregon, there's a really nice town on the coast called Brookings. Take a look at that. See if that's up your alley. All right, let me see if I can catch up here. Ocean views, low crime, and retirement plan. Buy house on Nantucket. Uh, Secret to Nantucket is real estate. Complain about prices, then watch them go even higher. That's about the truth. Okay, starting to see some slowing housing in Knoxville. Yeah. There's slowing in the housing all over the place because of the economy right now. Looking to retire somewhere in Arizona where data centers can't steal the water supply and jack up the prices. It's a good plan. That's becoming more and more of a thing for a lot of people. They don't want to be near data centers. But you're looking for water. So Arizona is really interesting. I was just doing a video on it recently. Actually, I just worked on it today. If you're retiring, Arizona, in my opinion, is far better than Florida. Florida, it just seems to me like Arizona is catering more to the retirees, snowbirds, or whatever. Florida just seems like they're just offering you something. Arizona, I get the feeling like they want you to come there. Florida's all, you're going to come here, so we're not even going to try that hard. Even though it is still a great place to retire, I like Arizona better. It's farther away from the ocean, obviously, but it's still pretty cool. Arizona's got a lot of good places to move to. I'm a big fan of Flagstaff, Sedona. Sedona's weird. It's a nice place to visit. I would never live there. I mean, every time I visit, there's just another crystal shop run by some hippie girl. So there's that. But if you're looking to retire, look into Buckeye for retirement. Unless you're going to move into one of the homes, then get up there around Surprise or Sun City, something like that. Okay. Your advice on an area of best year-round weather, not California. Ooh, not California. That's a rough one. So Reno is probably the best bet. Even though they do get a little harsh during the winter, they still stay kind of warm. I like Reno. It does get some winters, but we're not talking Minnesota or New England winters, California winters. It's up there in the mountains a little bit, but it's still pretty good. I like Reno a lot. If you don't mind the heat, Vegas is a good option. It's affordable. Prices are still, compared to California, a lot better, and the weather's decent. It can get terribly hot. It's really hard to find a place that has as good a weather as California. So, I mean, that's the ideal spot. If you're outside of California, especially San Diego. San Diego is like the center of the universe when it comes to the best weather in the United States. San Diego, and then after that, it's just too hot in too many places, or it's too freaking crowded, or it gets too cold. But I mean, I like Las Vegas. It does get hot, but it's not terrible. Well, it can be, but it's not crazy hot like Phoenix can get sometimes. Yeah, it's actually that's a lie. I've been there some days it's like 103 degrees. But yeah, like all the desert places where you're gonna get that decent weather, they're also running into problems with not having water. So, is Texas or Arkansas generally seen as better? Is Texas or Arkansas generally seen as a better state to live in? So, Texas is a decent place to live in. Other than property taxes, pretty much everything is a lot more affordable. I mean, they're going to get you some way, and they really get you on their property taxes. That being said, you're going to get a more affordable house, no state income tax, and a bunch of other little breaks you get, especially when you get to be retired. Now, Arkansas is a great state if you stay in the northwest corner. The rest of the state, when you get into Pine Bluff, Little Rock, and a bunch of other places, uh, that state's a nightmare. But if you stay in the top corner, northwest corner, it's a good place to live. And I'd choose that over any place in Texas. Yeah, if you can afford Lake Tahoe, it's definitely worth a look. Well, Henderson is part of the Vegas metro area. That's kind of what I meant. Nobody actually lives, well, I mean, people do. People live in the Las Vegas metro area. I have some friends that moved there not a couple of years back. They like it. But yeah, not Vegas. Look at Henderson. Henderson's decent. Hey, Brig. Okay, what do you think about Branson area? So Branson, Missouri is pretty decent. They get a lot of tourists there. Sometimes that could be a problem, but Branson's a nice place. It'll keep you entertained. You'll always have something to do, especially if you like country music. Well, Heather, I am glad they're helping. They make it so I can show these things in the thing. Channel activity, go to channel pin. No. Uh-oh, what did I just click on? Normally, when I use my software, which I always have problems with for some freaking reason, um, someone asks a question, I could post it on the screen, but I don't think I can do that. YouTube hasn't caught up with that. I'm using YouTube software today. I wonder if pin a message. Message pinned. It still didn't show up on the screen. Undo. Okay. All right, get back to it. What about retirement near southern PA? Okay, so a lot of people are doing that these days. It's, there's certain areas where you're only an hour or so or 2 hours outside of New York City. And there's a lot of people that are finding that They don't wanna stay in New York. They're don't wanna go to Connecticut, so Pennsylvania is the next good option. My opinion, I love Pennsylvania, the entire state, but I really like the northeastern section up there by Honesdale. It's really nice. I love that area. Love that area. If my we have a little property there, if my family would have gone for it, I'd be building a house there right now, but nobody else wanted to do it but me. Wisconsin, retiring in Wisconsin is a good option, but it's Wisconsin, so you got to be okay with getting that snow on you good portion of the year. But I love Madison, Wisconsin. Beautiful city, cheese curds everywhere, good beer, nice place to be. Which place in Vegas uh or New York? Definitely Las Vegas. Any suggestion for younger retirees in Florida? Yeah, Tampa. The Tampa area is where you should be looking. It's fun. You got some areas like Sarasota's not too far away. It's a decent place. You get down to Miami, it's too expensive. Some of the other places aren't worth it. I like the Tampa metro area for retirement. Hey, there we go. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thoughts on northern Utah? So there's some really good parts of northern Utah that I really like. Let me get my little cheat sheet out here. I was just looking at them the other day. There's like Brigham Young City, which is really nice. I really like it. I know a lot of people don't, but it's Brigham City, not Brigham Young. Logan is great. I like both of those. Let's check out the stats on Logan. It's been a while. Logan, Utah. So if you look at if you look at Logan, Utah, the livability score here is 88. And like we said, anything above 80 is outstanding. Their cost of living is decent. It's a 4% above the national average. Their groceries are even the national average. Housing is 10% above the national average, which for a really desirable place to live, that's some good numbers. Their crime, it's Utah. It's next to nothing. Their total crime rate is 40% below the national average. Their violent crime rate is 62% below the national average. And they get an A minus when it comes to housing. So 39% of the state owns their homes, which is outstanding because most of the states, it's somewhere around 20 or probably 28 right now, but 39 is pretty good. Their rent is even low, 18% below the national average. Their median home value, though, 22% above, which isn't terrible for a decent place to live. The only thing that they don't have that's not outstanding is their employment. They don't have the greatest numbers there. They actually get a D plus. So unemployment, it's income per capita. It's actually 30% below the national average, and housing and household income is 22% below. So it's got a lower cost of living, so that kind of evens it out. But 35% below the national average is kind of rough. So the national here you go. Income per capita per year in national is $44,883. Utah's 38,516. In Logan, it's 28,972. That's not great, but still, it's affordable and it's a nice place to live. I would look at Brigham City. So, okay, here we go. Here's a good question. Or I'm sorry, I was talking about Logan, Utah, not Brigham. Briggs, I'm just gonna assume based on your channel and your preference that Florida is one of the last states you would move to. Is that fair? No, not at all. I'd move there. I'd move to the Tampa area. If I had the money, I wouldn't mind living in the Miami area. I definitely would have liked to when I was younger. I never did. Visited quite a few times, so that was it. I am a Sox fan, by the way. Someone asked that. Uh, but no, it's not my favorite state, but it's definitely not the one I dislike. I mean, I don't really dislike any of them. There are some I would never live in, and Oklahoma's one of those. Uh, Not a fan of Kentucky. Uh, Not a fan of Tennessee. I don't think I'd ever live in Louisiana unless there was a gun involved and you're forcing me to. I have visited the Key West, but I didn't go there for a week or anything. I got a cruise ship dropped us off there, and we hung out for like 7 hours. That was about it. That's my experience with Key West. I have flown over it in a military helicopter a couple times, though. Okay, I know I'm missing a lot of these guys, and I'm not on the Murakami train. I've been a White Sox fan since I read the book about them throwing the World Series back in like 1982. So I've been with them a while. Okay, how about Conway, South Carolina? Let's take a look. South Carolina, Conway, South Carolina. Okay, so Conway's not great. Their livability score is 63. So you're getting pretty close to the suckage thing there. They don't have a lot there. Their commute sucks. I guess it's so far out of the way. Their employment is horrid. It's actually their employment rate is 40% higher than the national average. Uh, Income per capita is 27% below the national average. And crime is a D. What do they got? They're 14 above. That's not bad. Property crime's 12% above. And violent crime's 24% above. Where are all their. So, this curious. Why is their numbers so bad then? Health and safety, which usually means access to hospitals and stuff like that. That's a C minus. Cost of living though is affordable, 4% above the national average, and houses are 10% below. So Conway, where is Conway? I feel like I'm missing something here. Conway. Well, besides the fact I just wrote Gronway. Conway, South Carolina. Where are you at? Oh, okay. You're just in from Myrtle Beach. That's the problem. That's the problem. You're too close to a tourist area. You know, it's really weird. There was a young lady that went missing there like 10 years ago. And I remember it was all over the press. They just found out what happened to her. She ran into basically I guess the guy was a serial killer of some sort. But she went there. She told her parents she was just staying at her friends for the weekend, and they left. God, where were they? New York, around Buffalo, maybe. I could be wrong, but they went down to Myrtle Beach, and basically she got killed by this dude. But for like 9 or so years, they didn't know what happened to her, and they blamed this other person, and it was just ugly. And then they had a informant in jail say he heard someone over talk, or he saw someone. He saw what happened to her, and he gave this big story, and they thought that's what happened. And they basically went after this guy who's kind of a known criminal and stuff. Getting off track here, but come to find out, didn't even know the girl, never even met her, never even saw her. But they hounded him for a couple of years. And then this one poor dude that was partying with her the night before, that Nancy Grace lady had his picture all over her show saying that he knows something and he needs to talk about it and da 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 da. Look what he's putting his family through. You know, she just climbed all up on this kid. The kid's, I saw her the night before. What the? So yeah. Anyway, off track there for a minute. All right, let me get back here. I know I'm gonna miss some things here. I'm from Texarkana. It's a dump with high crime. You're not wrong. Name the first city that comes to mind when you think hot, flat, spread out, swampy, mosquitoes infested sprawl. Beaumont, Texas. I've been to Katy, Texas. It's nice. I mean, there's better places, but it's not terrible. Hey, Briggs, mid 20s, a young finance professional moving Out of parents from New England housing, too pricey yet planning to move to Charlotte, Annapolis, Huntsville area. Thoughts on recommendations. Want to move to the Annapolis area, huh? Give me a second here. Let me take a look. Kannapolis. Oh, Kannapolis. Yeah, it's another one. 64 livability score. Where it is, they're not near any hospitals and their schools stuck and their schools suck. That's what brings them down. If you don't have kids yet, might be okay. If you're retired, I wouldn't move here, being so, their healthcare kind of sucks around there. Not that it's low quality. It usually means access. They don't have any major hospitals in town. You might have a 30-minute drive or something like that. My granddaughter just came up. She got out of school, last day of school today for her. So I know she's going to come charge it in here in a minute. I didn't lock the door. So expect a visitor here in a minute. Hey, Google, turn off the volume. Would I ever visit Japan? Absolutely. What state is on the rise that people haven't taken over yet? I'm live streaming. Okay, what do you need, love bug? Sorry, guys, one sec. How was your last day of school?
It's recording.
I know it's recording. Oh, the voice thing outside? Yeah. Oh, you can hear me? Yeah. Oh, okay, let me fix that. Okay, apparently this whole time I was talking on the speaker. We're outside. Oh.
Does this work?
Hey, get out of here. Get out of here.
Let me take
Okay.
The microphone's on outside.
I know, and I'm live streaming right now. Okay. Go, boot, scoot, and boogie.
Bye, guys.
Love you. Okay. All right. Remotely single, make $50,000 a year, love cold climate. What do you think about Fargo, North Dakota? Fargo is pretty interesting. A couple things I like about it. It's a really nice city. It is affordable. Let me get the right stats here, though, for you. Ooh, okay, so they're doing better than I was going to tell you. Their livability score is 85. That is not bad. They've got plenty of things to do. Cost of living's low. They got a little crime. It's 98% above the national average. Their violent crime rate is 39%. The problem is they got a lot of property crime, about 110% above the national average. So that sucks. But everything else across the board is pretty good. Housing, health and safety, schools, C+, employment, C+. The only negative for them is the F on crime. So that sucks. But I'd move to Fargo. But I just don't know if I could handle those winters because it's just brutal. Their winters can be brutal, like you're living on Hoth or something for the Star Wars fans. Remotely, seriously. Okay, yeah. So working remotely, perfect for there because one of the bigger problems they have in Fargo is the employment, and it's not really that bad of a problem. It's their household income. Their unemployment rate is 40% below the national average, so that's not terrible. But it's their income. Their household income is about 7% below the national average, but their single person income still only 14% above. That's weird. Got some weird numbers here. Okay, so their unemployment rate is 3%, which the rest of North Dakota, it's 2%. Still below the national average. Weird. They got some weird numbers. I don't know why they only got a C. They got these numbers. Move to Fargo, especially if you got your own job. Great option. All right, let me see if I can find else what's going on. Choose Greenville. That's where you should go. My biological father and my brothers live in the Greenville area. Fountain Inn. My thoughts on moving to Indiana. I'd do it. I mean, you stay out of Gary, Indiana. Terre Haute. I mean, they got some decent places. But this is the thing. Nothing they have really stands out. I mean, they got some little neighborhoods, I'm sure, in some small towns, but they don't have any place that's just known for being great. They got a lot of places that are average or a little above average. And I'm sure someone's going to point something out in the comment section, but really, it's just kind of a okay, Indiana type state. You can save some money moving there. Okay, she's so sweet. Yes, she's a good girl. Hey, D16. It's like I'm talking to an android, like C3PO, D16. Oh, wow. Hey, I was complaining we don't have that many people in here, but here we are with over 200 people. And we missed our super chat goal. We only had one. We were trying to get to 10. It's 210. All right. And don't forget to hit the like button too, guys. All right, let's get back to the questions. Boop, 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 boop. Was that cuteness staged? No, but she belongs on a stage. She's not dancing, she's singing, or she's causing trouble and trying to be the center of attention because she's a love girl. Briggs, rank the 10 largest metro areas. You'd have to watch that video. I'm actually getting ready to do something similar to that here in a couple days. Actually, we have one tomorrow that was supposed to come out yesterday, but we pushed it back because it's kind of big. But it's just, I'm listing my favorite cities that everyone should visit. Moving to, that's a different story. These are all the cities that should be on your bucket list to move to, and that's tomorrow. And it's like I'm not going by a bunch of stats, or I'm just giving my opinions on them. So it is definitely an opinion video. Check it out. Tomorrow should be up around noon. Top 10 stadiums for World Cup. I don't know. Start of my old official number. Oh, I gotcha. First submarine. There you go. In that case, I was 427-306. B427, sorry. That's an Army thing. Okay, so what thoughts on New England states? I love New England states. If you can handle the cold and you got some money, that should be the first place you retire to, or first place you should consider retiring to. It's a great part of the country. It's just terribly cold and expensive in most areas. They've got no crime though. So there's a trade-off right there. You're going to spend some money, but your safety is pretty decent. It's like they hardly have any cities with any real crime. I mean, very few of the cities or towns and that whole region of the United States have above average crime, and almost none of them are extremely high. They might get some couple months here or there, but overall, throughout the years, very low crime. Thoughts on Mesa, Arizona? Thinking about moving there from nearby Memphis to work at MRI Tech. So it's definitely better than living in Memphis. Not as historical as Memphis, especially in the music department. But it's a decent place to live. They're just having some water issues, the middle of the desert, and if you can handle that heat, it might be worth it. The good news is you're never going to have any real humidity. Which state on the East Coast has weather most like coastal California? So South Carolina, in my opinion, would be the best option. You're not getting all humid, nasty. Well, you are, but it's not as hot and humid as Florida. My experience. I don't have the numbers right in front of me. I think South Carolina is a better option. Wilmington, North Carolina is a great option. If I was going to move with that criteria, I would look at Bluffton, South Carolina. It's a little inland, but you're on the coast. Georgia. I don't like deserts. Okay. What do I think about buying land in New Mexico, Luna County? It's affordable. It's water's another problem though. So, but it is definitely affordable. Future hot locations due to cost of living. So that's what's driving everything right now. That is why there's such a push out of California and into the South and the Midwest. I think Des Moines is a pretty good option. I think Lawrence, Kansas is another place that's blowing up, which is right outside of Kansas City. Um, Lincoln, Nebraska, I think's got potential to really start gaining, and Rochester, Minnesota. Rochester is probably the best place to move to if you're retired and you have some kind of health condition. They got the best hospital there, the Mayo Clinic. Yeah, that's something I never touch on. Someone said don't move to Kansas if you're trans. Uh, if that is your lifestyle, the hand you've been dealt, whatever you want to, however you want to say it, you obviously know you got to do a little research. I think that's wrong that you actually have to, but I like to deal in reality that that is a reality. It is unfortunate, but the Midwest and the South are probably not the best places if you're trans or, um, as my uncle called it, flamboyant. And he was flamboyant. There returning to the office isn't as big of a thing as people like to say it is. There was a push for the administration to, start saying that, they had this little campaign where they're forcing everyone back to the office and telling companies they should bring people back to the office. Not a lot of companies did that. The companies are perfectly fine with how things are going, with different softwares and monitoring tools. They know people are working. Everything's on a computer now. I mean, if you're not turning in your work, they got questions for you. Uh, so I know that was a push, and that was a big thing because a lot of these building owners were going, "Hey, we're dying here since the pandemic because all our businesses are vacant." Um, so I don't think working or coming back to the office is as big of a thing. I know Comcast out here, this is just one example. They were renting a building. I've heard different numbers. I heard it was like $70,000 a month, this giant building. And then pandemic, they sent everyone home to work. Well, then they're all, this is working out perfect. So they never brought anyone back. I have friends that still work for Comcast. They haven't worked outside of their house in probably 4 years. Briggs, do you enjoy the big four states? California, Texas, Florida, New York. I love California. There's got a lot of problems. I grew up there. I just have a connection with there, especially the beach communities. I grew up in a beach community, Torrance, Redondo Beach area, and South Bay, basically. And I love that part of California. I don't like the desert part, and I don't like downtown LA or anything like that. New York, I kind of dig New York. One of the big regrets in my life is when I was younger, I never went and lived in New York City for a while. I was doing other things, military mostly, but I never had that chance to go live in New York City. It kind of bums me out. I don't know if I ever win the lottery, I'm going to buy a big apartment there and live for like 2 years just so I can get out of my system. But Florida, yeah, I probably wouldn't live there unless it was Miami and I had a bunch of money. And Texas, I don't really have a need for Texas. It's too I know they have some spots like the Beaumont area and stuff, and the entire state isn't Lubbock, but I just don't like Texas. I mean, it's got a lot of great options, a lot of things going for it. Barbecue's amazing. The Tex-Mex food's incredible. I love the food, and that's about it. I have friends that live there. I love them. But that's not bringing me over there. Well, thank you. You enjoy all my stuff. I appreciate it. Reselling grand thrifting. Is Arizona that hot in the summer? Absolutely it is. Hey, Miss Independent, how are you? Bullhead City or Laughlin? So when I was a comedian, I was doing a show in Bullhead City. And during the day, you have all this time off. And I was there for like 3 nights of shows. I went to the pool in Bullhead City, and this is like August, and they didn't have the heater on, but the water felt like a bathtub. I was like, this is miserable. I come in here to escape the heat, and it's actually too warm. It sucked. That heat is crazy. Des Moines is a good place. I have a friend that, again, he might be retired. He's an Army buddy. He is a sheriff in Des Moines area. I forget what county that is. Des Moines is. Anyway. He ran to be the mayor, didn't win. Or not the mayor. He ran to be the head sheriff, lost. And then there was a big lawsuit about it. Because he was a sheriff deputy and he ran against the sheriff and then started messing with him or something like that. That's, I don't know. I don't know the whole story. There was a court case. I don't want to get involved, but yeah. Did you know that the YouTuber from here is doing travel videos to very obscure places now? Yeah, Mango's a pretty cool guy. I've talked to him a couple times. A little worried about him. He got like sick and was in the hospital for a while, but he's a good guy. Hey, there we go. But he's a good guy, and his channel, he was uploading very similar videos to mine. Then he started doing this obscure travel stuff, and I think it's really interesting. Here we go. Butter and cornbread. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Can you make a show about the top 20 places to retire and enjoy cannabis? I could, but it wouldn't be monetized because YouTube won't let me. I did a video a few years back where I did a video and it was about conspiracy theories. There's a great conspiracy theory about that back in the 1950s when they tried to outlaw it. It's like or 60s was when they outlawed it. All the people that were, all the senators and congressmen that were against it were funded by Dow Chemicals. Now, conspiracy theory goes that hemp, which is a byproduct, is a great fabric, which people use all the time now, and it is a great fabric. But Dow Chemicals was afraid it was going to compete with this new fabric it was coming out with called polyester. So yes, that was a weird one. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Okay. All right. But thank you for supporting the channel. If I start my Patreon again, that is one of the first videos I will be doing. I could upload that to Patreon, but I can't upload it to YouTube. And the way YouTube is these days, and the way they're demonetizing people and shutting down channels, I'm really cautious about doing anything terribly controversial. And that's not, I mean, it's legal now in most states, and I get that, but yeah, I mean, this is a business, and YouTube's run business, and that's how they want to run it. All right. But thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Hey, we got another one. Miss Independent, do you have a vid about places good for ADA folks? So I did one on American with Disabilities, and there is a video I have for it. And I go over the laws they have in the different places and the programs. It's about 3 years old. Let me see if I can find it. The problem was it got no views. And people have been hassling me to, I wouldn't say hassle, but they've been requesting it for some time. ADA, let me see if that brings it up. Disability. There it is. I did this one, and it's been a while. What year did I do this in? Let's go to analytics. The last 48 hours, it's had 1 view. That's bad. Yeah, it only did 20, or it's almost 30,000 views in 3 years, June 14th, 2023. So yeah, almost 3 years completely. That's not good. Let me show you though. Let me put it in the chat for you. Boom. Check out that. All right. Oh, we got another one. Enjoy hearing what you have to say. I really appreciate that, Aussie Fly Girl. Good to see you again. Uncle Jay, how are you? One of our sustaining members, as I like to call him, but he is a member of our community. Which these days, which I have this conspiracy about YouTube. We're getting off track here a little bit, but I'll get back on track in a second. The way YouTube is doing things right now, I honestly think they're trying to push us towards fan funding only. Because to be perfectly honest with you, most YouTubers right now are making half the money they were 2 years ago. So I'm down about 35% compared to 2024. And that's how everyone is. Originally, I thought it was a couple different things, but everyone's said it's YouTube. And there's different reasons. We talked about it on my other channel, Doing It with Briggs, which I talk about the world of YouTube. But yeah, so fan funding is becoming more and more important. And I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel so much. You have no idea. Yeah. So back in 22, was it 22? I thought it was longer back, but Ohio did kept getting memed like all day long. Can't always go by views. Yeah, well, views translate to money. And if you don't get many views, you don't get any money. And this is a business. I have employees. If I was just doing this for fun, wouldn't matter, but it matters. I don't have another job. This is what I do. I haven't actually had a job since 2018. That's when I left just to do this full time. And I mean, it is profitable, and it was a lot more profitable, but it's still getting kind of tight. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying, Miss Independent. Basically, it used to be a lot easier to make a living, and now it's like it's not. We used to have 6 employees. Now we have 2. Hey, another one. Thanks, Uncle Jay. Actually, have watched maybe 60-70% of your recent videos. By the way, just out of curiosity, do you consider yourself more of a bookworm or an arcade nerd? Oh, that is a solid question. Um, I love video games. Always have. Got a little bit of ADHD. So when I'm trying to concentrate and think of subjects to cover on this channel, I like to play a video game. And then I always have to make sure it's not one I'm live with, other people, so I can put on pause and write stuff down. It's how I've always done things, even back when I used to do homework. But I'd say I'm definitely I'm a little of both, but I lean arcade nerd. I'm surprised YouTube's creator haven't band together, protest the YouTube cut money, same push they can. 1/3 of the price gouge. Yeah, it is. It sucks when you're making. It's almost like having a job that you used to make, $60,000 a year, and one day they're, oh, congratulations, we're going to cut you down to 40,000. That type thing. Good, Miss Independent. I'm glad you're working on your channel. I've got another couple of videos coming up. We're a little backed up and stuff with the holiday or with the summer starting and things like that. Because I remember a few years ago back when you used to talk about more casual in your when you talked a lot more casual in your videos, but now it sounds more like formal and scripted. Is that what YouTube wants? No, it's not what YouTube wants. I did used to have the stats in front of me, and I'd research what I was doing and I'd read about it, and then I would just go off memory. I made too many mistakes, is what it broke down to. So I realized I had to have more of a script structure because I didn't want to be a bad source of information. So sometimes it does sound a little scripted, and that's because I'm trying to get the facts straight. So yeah, it's kind of like I had a problem if I didn't do it that way, and some people like it more when I was more conversational, like I'm doing right now. Likely to be kidnapped. I like that kid. Places you're likely to be kidnapped. Always look forward to this, by the way. North Carolina. Good for you, Raven. Tamatra sings, could you give a quick comparison to retire in East Tennessee and South Carolina? Ooh. So East Tennessee, it's going to be a little more affordable. It's also going to be a little colder because you're out there in the mountains just about. And then South Carolina is a little bit warmer. You're less likely to get a hurricane there, but because you're eventually going to get hit by a hurricane almost anywhere in South Carolina. It's hard to say which one I would take more, but Tennessee's definitely going to be cheaper than South Carolina. And they're still all going to be cheaper than California, New York, and Massachusetts. So there's that. But yeah, I would definitely, if the money's your thing, look at Tennessee. If coastal living's your thing, obviously it's going to be South Carolina. Have I done? I have done a toss tour. Well, not in each state, but I did 100 places to visit before you die. That video's done really well over the years. It's like 4 years old, and it's done really well. All right, we got another one. Sorry, I'm talking about things, but thank you, Uncle Jay, for that, supporting the channel. Then we got another one. So you think Knoxville and Chattanooga are overrated? No, I don't. I think Knoxville is pretty cool because it's really close to a lot of entertainment, things like that. Chattanooga, I think, is a city on the rise. It's got a tech scene that is growing far faster than just about anyone expected. I know a couple people that have been that are in the tech industry. One guy makes videos, but he deals with a lot of different tech parts of it. But he was offered an extremely good deal to move to Chattanooga. He didn't take it because his dad is got Alzheimer's and he wants to stay close. But that being said, Chattanooga is sneaky good right now, and a lot of people are heading that direction. As a fly girl, I'd like to put them on my the posts on my YouTube channel. I have gotten away from them lately, been a little busy, but I like doing those too. That gives me a lot of information. Absolutely, Tamatra. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Talking about moving, you have documented many times, Briggs. We're talking about moving. What in your investigation have you discovered as why liberals, Democrats, woke lib California to go to red areas? It's not because of politics. I mean, in a way it is because it's cost of living. That's all there is to it. If you ask anyone why they moved to Georgia versus California or left California for it, or any state that's red, it's because of cost of living. Now, California has been extremely popular for over, it's like 1850. It's been one of the most moved to states since then. And now it's just gotten too expensive. And that happens to any place that got extremely popular. If nobody was moving there, it would be less affordable. Now they're moving to the red states. Now, here's something to keep in mind. California didn't get expensive and in bad shape all on its own. For 200 years almost, people have been coming from the South, from the Midwest to California. So most of the people that are moving to the red states that people complain about and use words like lib and all that garbage, they're really just first or second generation in California. Their families are from the South or the Midwest. You got to remember. So a lot of people, and I imagine you might be one of these people that think Californians should stay in their state and fix their problem. I get that in the chat all the time. And that is the dumbest shit, I've ever heard. Because people move where they could live better. In the Great Depression, the South and the Midwest pretty much emptied out and headed west to California and Oregon to get a better life. They're Americans. They have every right to. They have a right to change or pursuit of happiness. And if you're starving in the Midwest or the South, you're going to leave. And that's what they did. Well, it's just another survival thing now. You're going to move to a place that's, if you go back all the way to the cavemen, once they hunted a place too much, they would move to another place so they could continue to survive and have a life. That's what people do. We're still the same herding animals. So California got too expensive because it got too popular. So people are heading to the red states, which happen to be affordable. And the reason they're affordable is they're really not that desirable compared to places like California. Certain people might find, Mississippi a wonderful place to live, or Texas or Oklahoma. The fact is, if they were that wonderful to live, they would be as crowded as California is right now. So, to answer your question, let me read over it because I went on a tangent. We're talking about moving. You have documented many times, Briggs. What in your investigation have you discovered as why liberal Democrats, woke libs, California go to red areas? That's all there is to it. It's cost of living. I mean, sometimes they do get tired of the politics and they want to go someplace where there's a different kind of politics. Most of the people that are heading to someplace like, let's say, Mississippi, Arkansas, and they're leaving California, they're not usually Democrats. They're usually Republicans. Probably about 75% of, if you take 100 people leaving California going to Texas, 75 of them are going to be Republican or don't care. They're not all liberals going there. Usually, if they're leaving for politics, it's because they want to go to a place that shares their political ideologies. So you're not getting a bunch of libs. Texas might be the exception of the rule, but let's say it's Oklahoma, you're not getting a bunch of libs there. You're getting people from Bakersfield, California, where they are already Republicans. But yeah, all that stuff about the libs and the woke and all that is something that is designed by political parties to give you an enemy. Okay. What you're talking about is other Americans that might see things a little different than you, but they're other Americans that you've been trained to, you've been given labels to put on them. So you could, have a negative view of other Americans. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't hassle conservatives. I never talk bad about Republicans. Everyone's got their own view. I don't have all the answers in the world. So what works for my lifestyle doesn't work for the guy down the road. And so, if you're a hardcore conservative, I'm glad that's working out for you. That's your thing. It has nothing to do with me. All right. Have I been on tangent long enough? Yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. Libs flooding red areas to just complain about red culture. No, they're not. That is something that they say on right-wing podcasts, maybe Fox News or some other outlet. Most people that are moving to other states, you got to remember, only about I forget the exact number, but only about 30% of the US population gives a crap about politics till it gets to election season for the president. Most people don't even vote in the midterm because they don't care. And most people, more and more people are becoming independent these days because they're not all caught up in that stuff. If the occasional person moves to someplace like Texas and complains about it, then fine. That's the occasional. But they're not going in any measurable amount of, droves of libs are moving to Texas to complain about Texas lifestyle and their Republican views. It's not happening. It's something you're being programmed to think is happening. This is attention to detail and appreciate. I'm sorry I missed this one. Here we go. Mike X, love your work. Nuance and attention to detail are appreciated. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Where are we at? Seems common sense. Not having it regardless of blue or red. Yeah, that's about it. Truth bomb. Yeah, I'm sorry if that sounded harsh. It's just so when I was in the Army and when I was in college, I did a lot of reading, a lot of studying on how psychological operations work, okay? And how governments manipulate the people. And one of the first things they do, political party, I'm not saying just one president, they all do this crap. They turn you against other people that don't share your ideology. You may not realize it, but for years, you've been fed little things to tell you that liberals or conservatives are what's wrong with this country. Okay? And that is from a playbook of how to control the masses. Give them a common enemy. Give them a reason to hate. And if you hate gets you to the polls and votes for someone that can save you more than hope. And that's why everything's so negative. If they were saying, if you got a politician coming out going, we're just going to fix things. We're going to make things better. We're going to fix this. We're going to fix this. We're going to fix this. You don't hear that from politicians anymore. All you hear is the negative stuff. The liberals or the conservatives want to do this. The conservatives want to take all your rights away. The liberals want to force you to, become transgender, whatever their new talking point is of the week. It's all a program thing. They're manipulating you. It's psychological warfare. So yeah, to answer your question, they're not. Okay, so let's see. Tucson. Let me get back to what we were doing here. Briggs, for some reason, I've heard a lot of recent anti-Virginia sentiment, more than you used to, about Virginia. Was generally good. I just lost it politically. Okay. Good under the radar. Suddenly by multiple people. Virginia's getting a lot of attention these days, and I think a lot of people are choosing to move there. Even though it is a conservative state, like we're talking about, I think they've got a lot of independent people living there. So I think that's part of the reason they're getting attention. But there's kind of they're middle of the road on decent. I don't know. It's a good place to live. Okay, thank you for saying that. I'm tired of being treated like an enemy in this country. Land belongs to you and me. Yep, that's the truth. Here we go. Okay, God help us, please. This is the last one I'm going to answer. So why does Texas complain about California folk bringing the same leftist policies because they're being programmed? They're being programmed to think that's what's happening. Nobody's coming to Texas to change everything. Matter of fact, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but since 2001, more Texans, and this also happened in Arizona, were signing up to be independent or Democrat over Republican. Was never that way. These are citizens of Texas that are changing the political landscape. It's not as much to do with the people moving in. Like I said earlier, at best, 50-50 are, red, 50-50 are blue, or the other 50 are blue. It's not this big flood of liberals moving in there to change Texas. It's just not a thing. It's not true. But that is what you've been programmed to think. And look what you're doing in this thing. It's propaganda. Look at your whole thread. You're a perfect example of what I'm saying. Okay, let's get back to what we're doing here. Oh, West Virginia, it's got a ton of problems. But if you're a remote worker or retired, it is a wonderful place to live because it is dirt cheap and you can get a house for next to nothing. Yeah, Elizabeth, that's exactly right. More conservative Californians move to red states in order to be around other right-thinking individuals, which is their right to do. If that's how you want to live, absolutely, you go do that. If you feel you're going to have a better life with political ideology in a state that matches your thing, then you're going to move there. Besides, all the liberals from California, they head to Oregon and Washington. Mostly Washington these days. For a long time, it was just Oregon. What great way to find good cities is checking the U.S. Census. U.S. Census has a lot of information. The downside is it's hard to get around it. I've learned how to use it really well over the years. That's just from using this channel, but the average person kind of struggles with it because it's just like data sheets. There's no storyline to it. It's weird. Boom. Hey, thank you very much, Robert Clement. I really appreciate that. Boom, boom, boom. Robert Clements. Appreciate the supporting the channel. Almost 1.5 million subs. There you go. Are you talking about me or are you talking about you? Oh, you are talking to me. Okay, good. But yes, I'm getting close. It slowed down after the million, but it's getting closer. I was on a cruise during when I hit a million. It was amazing. No, actually, I was home. I got my gold play button while I was on a cruise. Yes, and Washington and Oregon folks smash cars with Cali license plates. No, they don't. Where's a good place for a truck driver who prefers warm weather? I would look at Charlotte. That is a major logistics hub. You get a lot of work there. Yeah. Well, yeah. Mine 6312. That's an illusion. You think you're going to go to some state and they're not going to accept you because you think the other way. 80% of the people don't give a crap. Don't give a crap how you vote or what your thing is. It's insane. It's just, again, goes back to that whole thing. They're programming people to think that if I move to Texas, they're not going to like me because, I want health care for everyone or I want free college. Nobody cares. I'm from California and I moved to Oregon. I had a license plate for probably the first 5 years, maybe 4. That was from California. I never had a problem. Nobody gives a crap. I've never had anyone go, "Oh, you're one of them from California." Never once. Nick Johnson is also doing this propaganda. Nick's got a good channel. I like what Nick's doing. He's a good friend. Forbidden Colossus, are you from California too? Because when people call it Cali, I can't stand it. Nobody in California calls it Cali. It's like that's the dead giveaway you're from someplace else. I love it here in Cali. Where's that? Isn't that in Colombia? Indianapolis winter, it's the plains. Indiana can get cold. So, it's not as snowy as, some of the New England states and Minnesota and upper peninsula of Michigan, but it can get rough. We call it SoCal. SoCal, no Cal. But nobody throws the I on the end of there. Ever do a show on nasty industries that weren't live near a nuclear plant? Yeah, that might be a pretty good one. I one of the most fascinating story to in pop culture to come out in the world in my lifetime, which I learned about it after it happened because I think it happened in the 70s. But when the water in the Cuyahoga River caught fire in Cleveland because it was so polluted, not the docks, they caught fire, but the water was literally on fire because it was like mostly oil and chemicals. Kokomo, Indiana. Kokomo, Indiana. Let me look at the stats because for a while there, they were horrible. Oh, there it is. Why does it take so long to pop up? Typed in Kokomo, normally it shows it, and I was all, am I spelling that wrong? But I guess there was some kind of delay. Yeah, we were working on the video that was supposed to go up yesterday, but the internet for my area went out, set us back. Kokomo 68 is their livability score. Oh, I think are we having the same problem again today? Are you guys still there? I hope you are, because my internet's acting weird. Error? Why was that an error? Okay, other websites. Okay, so the site I use to get my stats is having a problem. Okay. I was afraid we were about to lose the internet here again. Yesterday we had a real problem with that. But yeah, Robert, I really appreciate you supporting the channel. And we got this one. Moved to New Mexico from San Antonio over Chattanooga 6 months ago. Great experience, a few negatives, and the road quality. Yeah, my gosh, healthcare is horrible. Yeah, that does move from Tuesday. Yeah, so I like San Antonio. I famously went there to, videotape the river walk and how nice it is downtown. And if you haven't seen that video, I seem to have chose the only weekend of the year where they drained the freaking river and clean it out. It's like, I didn't even know that's something I needed to look into. It was weird. All right, where are we at? So I appreciate you supporting the channel. I really do. Boom, 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 boom. Go Spurs, go. Is that tonight? They have another game tonight, or are they taking a break? Has anyone ever jokingly called taxes? No, I don't. I'm sure someone has, but I've never heard it. Doing chores. Miss Independent, you do them chores. I didn't know what bad healthcare meant until I experienced it. Yeah, it's usually bad healthcare normally, because most hospitals have some standards and the doctors and everyone are really trying. If you suck at being a doctor, usually you don't stay at the company long or the hospital. But most of the time it has to do with accessibility. You're too far away from the hospital, or they don't have enough doctors in the hospital you're going to, or they don't have enough clinics. That's usually when healthcare is bad. It's not normally the quality, it's access. Briggs, I've been trying over a year to get out of Iowa and somewhere southerly. I need much help. We were just talking about the northwest part of Arkansas. That's a great option. I would definitely look into that. It's affordable. It's decent. I mean, the stats are great. Get in while you can. I would recommend that one to anyone. That's the one I'm recommending anyone that wants to go to the South. I'm not a fan of Arkansas. Not a fan at all. I mean, they've just been poor for too long. But that northwest quarter, that's not like the rest of Arkansas at all. Moving to Grand Rapids from Fort Collins, Colorado. That's a good move. So there's a couple things I like about Grand Rapids. First of all, they're bringing back the rapids. I don't know if you ever saw that, but they used to be called Grand Rapids, and they kind of took the rapids out of the river. They're bringing them back. I think that's great. But Grand Rapids is a pretty cool place. You're inland, so it's cold, it's snowy, but you're not going to get much of that lake effect, even though there's a river that goes through town, obviously. I like Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids, that's a good choice. I was just doing research on that not too long ago. Oh, my program looks like it's back up. There it is. Okay, we're working again. Yeah, 83 livability. That is solid. A+ for amenities, commute, A+, cost of living, A+, crime, you get a little bit of an F, but it's not terrible. 60% above the national average. Like I said, we got places that are 400% and 500% above the national average. So 60, it's not great, but it doesn't suck terribly. Housing is affordable. Health and safety, they got good doctors. Schools, they only get a C. So if you got kids, I mean, it's not an F and it's not a D. C is not terrible. So yeah, I think Grand Rapids is a great place to live. Mike's ex-dad, I live near the Pearl, a rare walkable place in Texas. Yeah, there are not many of them, are there? Thanks for supporting the channel. Moving around, that is a good choice though. Cyber 5619, solid option. Eastern Washington or Eastern Oregon? Ooh, that's a tough one. I think I got to go with Eastern Washington. The backside of Oregon, there's nothing out there. Baker City, it's like the land that time forgot back there. I'll be driving through it in July or August. I'm going to drive out to Boise to see my son. He's at Mountain Home in Idaho with the Air Force. So me and my wife are going to drive out and spend some time with him. And I plan on spending a whole 2 days instead of the 7-hour drive. I'll probably spend all the day, like 12 hours, because I want to stop at some of the small towns there, just get some footage and check them out. What wrong about Iowa? Just, it's kind of boring. That's the only thing. Yo, Briggs, you the goat. Well, thank you very much. I've been watching you since I was 16. Now I'm 19. Oh, thanks for sticking around and engaged, and have been using your videos to help decide move after college. Good. I hope I can help you. I've run, over the years since I've been doing this, I've run into probably about 15 people and go, dude, I used you to find out where to live. One guy was in Beaverton, where I live. He goes, just, you always talk about it. Thought I'd give it a try. I haven't seen him since. I don't know if he's still living here, but he did say he's enjoying it. Dallas and Houston, I don't think are very similar at all. I think, well, Dallas, Fort Worth, they're the same. Yeah, I think they're pretty similar. Come to think of it, I had Austin in my head when I looked at Houston for some reason. They're similar. They're both laid out. They're both, modern cities. They're both got a lot of tech, got a lot of energy money. Houston's obviously got the NASA stuff. They have sports. They're similar. Did you meet at least one person from all 50 states? God, in my unit alone, the first platoon I was ever in, there was 2 guys from Iowa, like 4 of us from Southern California, a guy from New Hampshire. Let's go with the company. Yeah, a guy from New Jersey, 3 people from West Virginia, 2 guys from Wyoming, 1 from Montana. I think Washington and Alaska are the only states that I never was in a unit with, unless I'm missing someone. There's a couple guys from Florida, 1 guy from Mississippi, like 10 from Texas. There's 1 guy from Louisiana. Man, that guy had the thickest Cajun accent. Kentucky, there's 1 from Tennessee. I know that. New Hampshire, no Vermont. 1 guy from Maine passed away just recently. Well, a couple of years back. Sad thing. Yeah, it bummed me out. So Matt was there, a couple guys from Michigan, 1 person from Wisconsin, a couple from North Dakota. They came in together on the buddy system, and they had, no, that guy was from another company, but he was from South Dakota. Yeah, I'm sure I ran into most states in my years in the military. But I don't remember anyone saying they're from Alaska or Washington. There was 1 guy from Hawaii. He was a radio guy. Yeah, I ran into a lot of them. All right, got me going down. How is Barstow? It sucks. Don't ever go there. I mean, it's a great place to pee. You're going out to Vegas, stop in Barstow, take a leak, go to the McDonald's there that's got train cars instead of a restaurant you can eat in. It's kind of neat. Little train cars, got the little tables there. It's kind of cool. Over the years, you've influenced us in New Hampshire, escaping the brutal heat of Louisiana. Ooh. But some days, today included, we see temperatures 90 plus there as well. Yeah, it does feel different there. Yeah, definitely does. Barstow is terrible. I try and be honest. All right, guys, I think I got to wind this down. I appreciate all of you being here with me. We got over 200. I was just complaining we never seem to. I think maybe earlier in the afternoon is when we need to do these if we want to get more people on here. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Yeah, let's do this again. Oh, by the way, did we hit 10? I can count. If we hit 10, I'm going to do a live stream Saturday. So it might be a live stream Saturday. I think I'm going to get a guest on or something. All right. Oh, by the way, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., I will be on WTSQ radio station. So if you want to tune in, it's 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. Pacific time, so noon if you're back east. Tune in. You can just, on your Siri, on your phone or whatever you're using, just say, I want to listen to WTSQ, and you'll find it. It's out of West Virginia. All right, guys. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.